So let's talk about absolute value equations. Well, first of all, we need to know that the definition of absolute value is going to be your distance from zero. So if I say the absolute value of a number is, or the absolute value of 4. Well, 4 is 4 units away from 0. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is also 4 because although it's going to the left, the distance from 0 is still 4. So you have to first understand what is the absolute value of a number. It is the distance a number is from 0. So if k is greater than 0, and that's important because if k is not greater than 0, we really can't find an answer, then the absolute value of something equal to k is going to be equivalent to u equals k or u equals negative k. And it all goes back to the fact that we're measuring a distance from 0. So this is saying, what is 4 units from 0? Well, positive 4 is 4 units from 0, but so is negative 4. And so we have to keep that in mind. So how does this work out when we start trying to solve equations? Well, the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 5 says that this could equal negative 5 or it could equal positive 5 because the absolute value equals 5 means I'm looking for a distance from 0 is 5. So 2x could go left 5 units or 2x minus 1 could go right 5 units. Both are 5 units away from 0. Which means that for the most part, you're going to end up with 2 answers to these. So you're going to solve each one of these separately using the same steps. I'm going to add 1. So 2x equals negative 4. And then I'm going to divide by 2. X equals negative 2. Plus 1. 2x equals 6. Divide by 2. X equals 3. And so my solution here is x could be negative 2 or x could be positive 3. Now, this only works if we first solve for the absolute value. The only way this whole positive and negative works is if its absolute value equals a number. So if you look on number 6, we don't have that. This says 2 times the absolute value of x minus 4 plus 1 equals 7. I need to break this down until I get the absolute value equals a number before I can say it equals the positive number and the negative number. So a couple of things here. You're going to first, just like solve an equation, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract that 1. And please never, 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 never distribute. Now let me explain why. You cannot distribute over an absolute value because absolute value is an operation, meaning distance from 0, not a parentheses or a grouping symbol. We distribute over grouping symbols. We don't distribute over operations, so do not distribute. Here, to finish solving, I'm going to actually divide by 2 so that x minus 4 is by itself and 3 is on the other side. Now, this is saying the distance from 0 is 3. So x minus 4 could be negative 3 because negative 3 is 3 units from 0. Or x minus 4 is positive 3 because positive 3 is 3 units from 0. So we're going to add 4 and x equals 1. And we're going to add 4 and x equals 7. Now, 2 special cases we have in these types of equations is, first of all, what happens when the absolute value is equal to a negative number? Well, remember, absolute value has a definition of being a distance from 0. And one thing that we know is that distance is never negative. For this reason, when I come across one where the absolute value equals negative 3 or negative anything, since absolute value is a distance, it cannot equal a negative number. So this one has no solution. Okay? The other special case is what happens when it equals 0. That means the distance is 0. So there's only going to be one solution there, and that's what makes whatever's inside that absolute value equal that 0. So that means, in this case, x equals negative 2. So in terms of absolute value, the only time we get one solution is if my distance equals 0. Otherwise, if the distance equals a positive number, we should get two solutions. One that would represent going to the left that many units, one that would represent going to the right that many units. One last example of absolute value equations would be one where they have absolute value on both sides. Now this looks really complicated, but in reality it's going to be the same idea. The absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals the absolute value of x plus 5. Well, absolute value is a distance. So what happens is we're going to say that 3x minus 1 equals the negative possibility of x plus 5, or 3x minus 1 equals the positive possibility of x plus 5. And then we're just going to solve those two. So on the left, 3x minus 1 equals negative x plus, negative x minus 5. Say it right. And then we're going to move the x's to the left by adding an x. And then we're going to move our constants to the right by adding 1. And then we're going to divide by 4. Then on the other side, we're going to move our variables to the left, giving me 2x minus 1 equals 5. Put our constants on the right, so 2x equals 6. And then divide by the 2, so x equals 3. So we still get two answers, 1 and 3.